So, is this part of a 2013 Jeep review? No. So we are here in Michigan where we have salt and that messes up so many things. This is a CV axle. I'm gonna repair this today. The boot cut open, you get dirt in there. The boot has to be replaced, but you can't buy a boot so easy. Difficult to get. When you get the inside boot, you can't just replace it here on this side. You have to take the whole axle out, separate this joint, pull this off, pull the whole thing all the way across, put the new one on, goes over here. Difficult, okay? Now, in any case, you have to remove it. To remove it, you take this nut out, tap it a little bit, and then the whole shaft comes out. Not in this case. It doesn't want to come out. It's seized on there. There's nothing you could do in this case. Like, this is nuts. Okay. Heating this up? I'm not sure. Because it sticks in there like this much. It's not gonna work good. So you need a new bearing and hub assembly that is fixed with those 3 of those screws. You see them, how good they are. Yeah, this one, 1, 2. On the bottom a third one. ABS sensor in there. If you have to remove that, difficult. Doesn't come out. Broke off. Between CV axle and steering knuckle here is a dust shield, metal dust shield. Yeah, you have to take the CV axle out to get to it. Bad. So what happened here is that we had to replace everything, the whole 9 yards. This thing didn't come out. You couldn't get to it because the CV axle is still in there. It doesn't come out. Like, if this doesn't come out, you have a hard time on that one. So I had to cut it off. I used a nut cracker tool from Harbor Freight. Didn't work in this location, didn't work in this location. The nut cracking thing broke, and then I just had to cut it off to get it out. All those parts replaced. Wonderful. I mean, that was a lot of work today. But it's driving again. Getting an alignment done, and then we should be fine again. Hey there, good morning. Sunday morning. Too early. We're going to have our Jeep Grand Cherokee. And I do have the feeling that our playlist of the greatest Jeep repairs will come to an end soon. As you can see, I have aligned a lot of tools. Heavy tools, jack stands, and a whole lot of parts. Heavy parts, involved parts. We have a CV axle in here. Look at that. CV axle, we have a bearing assembly. Wheel bearing assembly in here. Some smaller parts, bolts, dust shields. We do have an ABS sensor. Does it say this? ABS wheel speed sensor. Just in case we don't know. Wheel bearing was in this box here. And then while we add it, and all this is going to be new, we also replace this piece. That's the upper control arm. You know, that thing is in there. on top. So this here basically connects up there. Steering connects here. The wheel bearing goes in here. There's a dust shield here. Dust shield goes here. ABS sensor goes in this hole here. Okay, there is where the ABS sensor goes. Then this, of course, protects the... It's on the other side here. It will protect the rotor. Okay, and then there is a seal here that is needed on this side. There. To protect the bearing. And then this guy here, this side, goes into the transmission. So we have to pull out the thing out of the transmission, get all those parts out, and then replace. Driver's side, it's gonna be a treat. Alright, I got some work done already. Of course, the sun is not really shining in the right direction, but we have two front wheels on the air, and the car sits on jack stands. Right? So I am not your security advisor. You have to understand this when you watch this video. But what I'm showing you here is how I deal with this. Okay? So we are on sturdy pavement, meaning this is concrete and the jack stands are standing on solid concrete. They're not standing in a crack area. Okay? So they are in the solid concrete part. After I have jacked it up, I verify this. So I have a chuck. The car cannot roll this direction. I should have a chuck in the other direction. Okay, so once I have it jacked up, I wiggle on the car hard. Here, like really hard, to see if it moves at all. It does not. Okay, let me show you where we jack it up. This particular car. Excuse my hammer in the way. Didn't use it. It's just laying here for later. Okay, where are the jack stands located? Here in the front axle area. I hope you can see it here. There, that's a sturdy point. This whole beam is fine, okay? So I use the car jack here, put a bit of wood in between, and up here somewhere, here. That's where I lift the whole thing up. I have a very long piece of wood because it's easier to handle. I don't have to be here with my fingers in between the car jack and the car to damage my hands. I have a long handle here. There. Just jack it up. Far. I mean, so far that the wheels are in the air. Okay, and then let it go down slowly. Jack stand. Okay. Very important safety pin here. Safety pins are in here 100% and they stay in there. So the same on the other side we can see from here, right? No difference. Same spot where we put the jack on, where we put the jack stand under. Same spot, safe spot. This thing cannot slide around there because of this bracket here. Right, so it cannot slide away, it hooks in good. Right, nice area, nice sturdy area there. Okay, and then our next thing is to take the wheel off. Yeah, all right. Okay, I'm going to try a quick overview of what is going to happen and why it's going to happen what the big problem here is. Okay. What is the big problem? We have the shaft here. The shaft is here, okay? The shaft has a cut boot. With the cut boot, dirt goes into the shaft. The shaft is breaking apart. This shaft, this boot, you can only replace if you replace the inner one, because you have to take that joint apart to get to here. Supposedly you cannot separate this end. Don't know about that, but that's what it is. So we replace the whole shaft because it's seized in here. This thing doesn't go back. That's unfortunate. Something we have to deal with. And all the stuff is connected to it. So, yeah, we have to get this out. This one here we have to get out too. Here, this one. And then we need to replace this one here. Driver's side. We did this on the other side not too long ago because the joint broke up there. So this side here is replaced. This one here is brand new. I don't know if this axle will ever come out. Doesn't look good, but the thing is good here and there. So yeah. On this side it looks better. So we're doing a quick intermediate check here how far I got. So I got the brake caliper off. It's hanging on the side to not damage the hose. Okay, so this here, this stabilizer goes through down here, so that is removed. I got this nut loose that holds the shock in there. I'm going to remove that. I think I'm going to remove the shock because I want to replace this piece and it's easier to get through the screws. I think that's easier or not, I don't know for sure. This has to come loose. Yeah, that's next. And then the second difficult thing is down here. This knuckle has to come loose. This screw has to come loose. That is super important. I don't know how that is going to go. Yeah. So you guys know how this is. Quick update here. We are moving on with our video. So the old stuff is out. How did we manage? I had to cut off the nut in here because it didn't come loose. Alright, so now what do we do first? The seal, right? The seal that fits in there. Okay. The seal that fits in there into the transmission. I bought a new seal. Let me see if I can do this with my camera. This is the new seal, and then we hold it here. We can see that it doesn't fit. This is too small. So it wouldn't fit in the hole here. So therefore, we can't replace it because we don't have the new seal. It was expensive. I 3D printed a tool to install it because the seal would go in here like this. And then you would hammer it in here like this. But if it's not big enough, then this is not an option. Okay. Now, this ball joint here is still okay. I thought I wanted to replace this whole thing because I have the part, but it's hard to replace, so I'm gonna skip that. Now we have to put everything back together. The new shaft is here. I compared it with the old one. Size-wise should be fine. I need some oil on here. And then I plug it back in. That's the first step. and then we put everything back together. This should be faster than taking it apart. Of course, so we will have the correct torque, put the parts back together the right way, and then, you know, we'll see how this all goes. We can't forget to put the new ABS sensor in there. So I tried to get the old one out, but it broke apart. It's rusted to it. So this is the ABS wire. This will be the last step, I think, to put this together. Look how greasy it is. Oh man, I should have worn gloves. Anyway, so that's how the status is. So we put the new axle back in there, but it's kind of easy to do. And this time here we need to put like a little grease on here to get it out later again if we have to. And yeah, so the rest we need to build it up like the same way we took it apart. Building it up, right?